Hello everyone, welcome back to Survivor Talks with Mike. Today we'll be covering Survivor 43, episode 12. Let's hop right into the recap. We start at the Gaia camp. Owen is upset that Carla made the right read at the last tribal council and voted for Sammy instead of Cassidy, but he still talks to Cassidy and convinces her that Carla was gunning for her. Cassidy confronts Carla about it, and Carla puts on an act and starts fake crying. She calls it her telenovela, and they even put fitting music over it, but her mistake is she tells Cassidy to ask Jesse about it. Carla then goes to give Jesse a heads up that Cassidy might ask about it, but he wants them against one another, so he tells Cassidy the truth. At the reward challenge, they are split into two teams of 3 to win coffee and pastries. It's close, seemingly within inches, but in the end, Owen, Carla, and Cody win. Over at their reward, Cody is excited to get some coffee and sugar, but maybe he goes a little bit overboard. Carla tries to convince Cody and Owen that she doesn't have an idol. They believe her, but it just tells them that they can safely vote her out. Back at the Gaia camp, Gabler says that he would like to go to the end with Jesse and Cassidy, as they each have very different stories and could fight it out in the end. They agree, and Cassidy reveals that Carla does in fact have an idol. When the others come back, Gabler tells Cody about Carla's idol, so now he knows that she was lying. Cody is fired up for the challenge with all the caffeine and sugar he has had, and knowing that if he wins, he has a clear path to the final 4. So we go to the immunity challenge. It's another close one with everyone at least halfway through the puzzle at the end. Carla's body starts to fail her as she cramps up and ends up rolling her ankle. Cassidy ends up winning with Cody just seconds behind. Back at the Gaia camp, Cody talks to Carla about using their idols to threaten others to vote with them, but then not use their idols in the end. Cody then reveals that this is just a bluff to get Carla to not use her idol. It's a good plan for him, but Jesse wants to use this opportunity against Cody. Jesse still has Cody's idol, so he is going to use it to spook Carla into wasting her idol and then vote off Cody. This is another great plan put into place, but then another wrinkle gets added as Carla wants to see Cody's idol, so Jesse has to give it back to him. We go to Tribal Council without ever being shown if Jesse got the idol back or not. At Tribal Council, there is a lot of talk of using the idols and whether that is a bluff, and it's even worth the risk to call that bluff. They go to vote, and when asked about the idols or advantages, Jesse gets up and plays Cody's idol for Owen, so Carla then plays her idol for herself. Cody is voted out 4 to 1 to 1. He seems a little bit mad about it, but he ends up shaking Jesse's hand and giving him a hug. So my thoughts on Cody: he was probably the most fun character of the season, but he showed that he actually had some strategic chops too. But that made him a little too big of a threat to take to the end, as he is very likable and has a bit of a resume. My review for this episode: I think this was my favorite episode of the season. It felt old school, and I really liked seeing how the vote evolved throughout the episode. I also liked a lot of the little things they did in the episode, like Carla's telenovela and the way they showed one person's plan only to go to someone else disrupting that plan. I know some people were confused about if Jesse played Cody's idol or Janine's idol, but I thought that was pretty obvious that it was Cody's, so that wasn't really an issue for me. I also thought this was a much better tribal council than we've had in a lot of the recent episodes. Overall, just a great, fun episode. I give episode 12 a score of 10 out of 10. My predictions: now we're down to the finale. I think this episode really hurt Carla's chances, and she was my winner pick all along, but now she has been caught in multiple lies, misplayed her idol, and is known to have turned on her allies. I do think there is still a path for her to win, but it seems unlikely. At this point, it seems like it's Jesse's game to lose. We know he has an immunity idol at the final 5, so the only way he loses is if he can't make fire, or if the jury is against him for cutting all his allies, and he can't win them back at Final Tribal Council. That could happen, but I don't think this season's cast is going to be that bitter. I think his biggest competition at this point is Cassidy, maybe Owen, but I think she will need to win another immunity at the final 5 to stay in the game, because I don't think they will bother targeting Carla over her at this point, and they should be targeting Jesse, and with his idol he should have control over who goes out next. If the final 3 somehow ends up as Carla, Gabler, and Owen, however, I think they each basically have an equal chance, and it really could just come down to what happens to get them to that point and who makes the fire against Jesse. And if an idol gets back into play, if one of them uses it well. I also think we'll see the scavenger hunt at the new camp, which leads to an advantage in the Final 5 immunity challenge, which could potentially shake some things up. My ranking for who I think is most likely to win at this point is Jesse, Cassidy, Owen, Carla, Gabler. That's all I got for this one. This was, like I said, my favorite episode of the season. Let me know if you liked it as much as I did too. If you liked this one, hit like. If you want to see the next one, hit subscribe.